And from what I understand, he shot this movie very quickly because he wanted to shoot it in all locations when he got the locations.
Oh,
so
okay.
he did a lot of like first take kind of shooting on this film.
Really?
And it was and apparently, and also rehearse taking. He would tell the actors they were rehearsing, and he would just roll the cameras anyway, and hopefully he got stuff.
I've done that before.
But basically,
with,
basically,
singers.
he was trying to cut down time.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to use these very real locations they knew they wouldn't get for very long periods of time.
Okay.
So when they're driving through these locations, these are real people driving through these real locations, and it's like and you can feel that, especially when we get to the freeway part of it, where he drives in reverse traffic, weaving through reverse traffic on one of LA's biggest freeways.
That's nuts.
And then obviously he goes into the LA River underpass there as well.
Right.
And I just, again, this is an absolutely beautiful, like the orange sky in the background when they're driving through the LA River underpass and there's like water hitting the windshield and like there's these very beautiful wide shots and stuff like that. Like it's just...
I think this was also the scene, because in order to escape, he makes a big traffic jam, right?
Yes.
In order to escape. And what's funny is that the moment after that happens, they have the little radio station go, by the way, no one was killed. just to like kind of clarify that, yeah, he is corrupt. He did some stupid shit, but he didn't kill any innocents. So just so you know, he hasn't gone that far yet.
I almost wish he did kill some people.
I know, just to make it a little more complicated, yeah.
Yeah, well, because...
But I just found that funny that they're like, throw that in there.
Yeah, well, because it's funny, because maybe we should get to this part. The reason this car chase is happening in the first place is that he's so obsessed with catching this counterfeiter, because this counterfeiter killed his partner. And the scenes with Willem Dafoe, by the way, as the counterfeiter, are like fucking creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Where Willem Dafoe is
he takes a lot of pleasure in what he's doing rather than just doing it for business. It seems like
he's got that smile.
Yeah.
And in his spare time, he does something I find just really distressing, which is just he paints, and he paints really beautiful pictures, and then he just burns them and watches them burn. And it's like, I guess that's how he feels watching something beautiful be lit on fire, I guess, is his idea, which is, it fits with the movie.
Definitely.
This is a very beautiful movie that lights itself on fire eventually.
What's interesting too is that he lights something on fire that's like, because his whole life is based on the counterfeit, right?
Yeah.
But the one original thing that he makes, he sets on fire and just destroys. So that's interesting too.
There's something interesting there about the idea of of again this sort of like overruling fakeness, which also the police institution gets into when they're trying to... I love how his uppers are always being like, don't you do that, but they're making it like the only way he could possibly catch this guy. Like there's so many roadblocks for him to actually...
They give him nothing, basically.
Yeah. And so they know that he's going to go and do something stupid, and they just let him do it. And then they're like, well, we could cover this up a little bit for you and maybe work something out. I don't know. We'll say you were deep undercover or something, and that's why you were acting like a literal criminal. Even though he just... Because that's when I lost it. Because here's the thing. The funniest thing about this movie is that for all of his like, I'm gonna bend the rules like Dirty Harry to get shit done. Yeah, he doesn't get shit done. No, he fucks up every single thing that he tries to do in this, and then the one time he finally does something right, it's because it's a crime. He's like, because I'm gonna do the heist. He was just like, they were just like, yeah, we won't give you 30 grand because earlier in this movie, remember, you happened to... You
literally got beat up by a dude you arrested.
Yeah, and
uncuffed.
Yeah, and he told you a sob story about going to see his daughter in the hospital. Like, who would fall for that? Yeah. Like,
and even then, it's just like if you're going to bring him there, keep the cuffs on him. And like there are still some things he could have done while going along with the guy's story too. That I'm just like, dude, you're not doing. By the way,
that counterfeiter crook played by John Turturro before John Turturro got big. There's a lot of performances in here by people. Before.
Oh, he wasn't big yet. That's
no,
awesome.
John Turturro wasn't. He would later with the Coen brothers and stuff like that, and Barton Fink and whatnot. Right. So in the '90s, William Peterson would obviously get bigger, and then Willem Dafoe would obviously get bigger too. And it's funny. Yeah. William Friedkin.
You already see their star
at
power
the time,
too.
This movie was criticized for not having like any like really big actors in it. Like it didn't have anyone.
And now it's just full of.
Well, yeah, like it didn't really have anyone
Incredible.
of note because he had to find cheap talent because he didn't have a whole lot of money.
Right.
He was spending his money on the locations and the cinematography and the actual film itself. So he had to hire people who weren't very experienced actors, and it's just so funny how many of them went on to have long careers throughout the 90s. Even now, Willem Dafoe is still big. Willem Dafoe's
he's huge. Yeah, he was just in Aquaman.
Yeah. Getting that paycheck.
Yeah, man. Dafoe.
And yeah, around the time that he fucks up pulling the counterfeiter out of prison, who, by the way, is attempting to be murdered because he already got fucked up anyway. Like, Willem Dafoe is trying to kill him in prison.
Right. Yeah.
And so he loses him. And then he's like, okay, well, that lead doesn't work anymore. So how about I try to pose as a buyer and get a deal with Willem Dafoe going where he's going to make some counterfeit money for me and then we'll get him then. And I will pay him. He needs 30 grand up front. So just give me lend me 30 grand. Yeah. And they were just like, absolutely fucking not, dude.
What have you done correctly? And then we'll give you the 30 grand.
Yeah. And it's funny. His new young partner is kind of like, yeah, dude, like they're kind of right. Like, why don't we just like do the work?
It's like, why don't we just do it by the book this time? Yeah. You know? Sounds crazy, I know, but like, let's give it a shot.
And William Peterson's like, I hear you.
It's like, I think we should do the heist.
Yeah, counterpoint. Let's literally just do a heist. Counterpoint. And steal the money, and then give that to the counterfeiter. And he's like, okay, so your answer is to just literally become criminals.
Exactly.
Yes.
But it's to stop crime, remember.
Yes. And they end up getting the guy brutally killed, who they take the money from, the like Chinese guy who was smuggling the money in.